Hello, we're Gabby and Mike from the Addison Public Library, and today we're going to talk to you about cybersecurity, especially since we're near the end of National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. What a mouthful. We're going to share 5 cybersecurity tips, and we're also going to help you set up multi-factor authentication. So Mike, can you tell us a little bit more about cybersecurity?
Of course. So what is cybersecurity? It's simply making sure that you have safe internet access. Using the internet is only safe when you're protecting your internet connections, your devices, and also the information from criminal and unwanted use.
Okay, so our first tip, we suggest installing a firewall, right? A firewall is a barrier that helps protect your network and your computer from outside attacks, and it's your first line of defense. Luckily for us, a lot of operating systems already include a firewall, so we just want to make sure those are enabled. Another thing we want to do is to make sure we keep our software up to date. I know it's hard to resist clicking away the reminder when it says to update your software, but that helps protect our computer just in case there's any security holes. So make sure you enable automatic updates to make it even easier.
So our third security tip is to be suspicious of all emails and texts. Phishing emails are one of the biggest risks for most people. The goal is to steal your personal information or money, and they might also install malware on your device. It's important to know that these messages can sometimes look like an outright request for personal identifiable information like your social security number. Those are the more obvious attempts. The kind of trickier messages can come from a text or an email. And they may look like they're from an individual person, like, hey, it's Sarah, or from a website that you use, like a Facebook Messenger email, or a credit card company update that would ask you to review your account. The point of these phishing emails is to get you to click on something. So always kind of hover over the link in the message before clicking on taking a survey or reviewing that account. Our fourth security tip for you is to use strong passwords. We all know this, but we all need to be reminded about this. It's very easy to use a simple password across all of your logins, but we really have to resist that urge. We should be using long, strong phrases or passwords with at least 16 letters, numbers, or symbols. And don't forget to change the default usernames and passwords on anything from your home Wi-Fi connection to your library PIN. All passwords are important. Instead of using a password like Addison 1955, try replacing it with something like in Addison apostrophe 55, replacing a letter with a symbol or a number. And our third security tip for you today is about implementing multi-factor authentication. So if you aren't familiar with that phrase, you're not alone, but it's something that you're going to have to get used to hearing. Authentication is something that confirms a user's identity. MFA uses 2 or more components to verify a user's identity. The second component is usually a second email address, which not all of us have, or a phone number where you'll get a message sent via text. So Gabby's going to tell us a bit more about MFA and the important message for Gmail users.
Yeah, so Mike mentioned authentication, right, components. So the 2 layers would be making sure you have a secure password, not just any password. And again, a reminder just to make sure you use uppercase and lowercase letters, symbols, and numbers. It's even gotten to the point where a lot of places won't let you create a password if it doesn't include all these factors. So make sure you just throw in a capital letter, throw in a symbol, just have a nice combination of characters. The second layer would be the code via text or call that Mike mentioned. Also, the code via backup email. Sometimes it's a phone notification, which requires you to unlock your phone to say, yes, it's me trying to log in. And then the last 2 options are an authenticator app and a security key, which are heavier duty, but not as common. But definitely something you can look into. Okay, so if we move on, we've got a video. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you. And I'll kind of walk through what we're doing here. Sorry, I should start at the top. Okay, so here I've opened up a new window and I'm going to google.com. We're going to go sign in. And then just type in your email like you normally would, your username, and then your password. If you don't remember your password, this is a great time to reset your password and make it as hard as you can so that no one can get into your account. So then notice we're going back into the corner icon there, and we want to hit Google Access My Account. So now we've got this really nice landing page when you log in that even has a box right in the middle that's reminding you that it's Cybersecurity Awareness Week. So we'll go ahead and click there to get started. And since we are focusing on two-step verification, our multi-factor authentication, we'll click there. So we'll click Get Started again. And since we're changing something within our account, it's going to ask us for our password yet again. So they're really amping up the security. So go ahead and type that in. And it's going to say, hey, this is how we're setting it up. Do you want to use your phone? Since I usually have my phone with me, I said yes. But you can add your phone number so you can also get text, right? So there's two options, either just a Gmail notification or an actual text from them. So I chose a text just because I don't really like phone calls. I get the number and then I'll type that in here. Okay, and now that I've verified, I have two things. Oh, sorry. I just realized that's showing up in the middle. Okay, so here we have the prompt and the phone number, but since I may lose my phone, I'm going to set up a backup phone number because you never know if you lose your phone, you drop it, something happens. So you can set up a backup phone of a best friend, spouse, partner, or even a family member, right? I went ahead and put in my brother's phone number so that if I lose my phone, I know his phone number by heart and I can just call him and say, I can't get into my email. Can you please send me the verification code that you received on my behalf? So one of the reasons we're doing this video is because Google is forcing everyone to sign up for two-factor authentication to kind of avoid having those security breaches on their accounts. But we imagine that all the other accounts, Yahoo, Outlook, AOL, all sorts of email providers will also start requiring it. So it's a good practice to get ahead, make sure your information is all up to date, and then just setting up as many layers of security as you can. But yes, if there's any other questions, can we go to the last slide? We will be here, obviously. We're here all the time, always ready to help. The library has the IT department that can also help with this. But if you think you may need additional assistance or you're like completely locked out and it's going to take more than 10, 15 minutes, you can request an appointment on the website listed there, addisonlibrary.org/appointments. If you want to learn more about security or just other computer-related things, you can go to addisonlibrary.org/research, where we have Udemy, Gale courses, and other online learning options. And lastly, if you're just looking to learn more about computers, right, it's such a digital age now, we like to refer people to People's Resource Center because they have such a robust training center. So they've got free computer classes and programs for anyone living in DuPage. So you can contact them at the number listed there, 630-682-5402. And that's it from us. Thank you so much for tuning in.